Hello and welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining us today. If you've ever wondered why sleep just seems to completely change as we get older, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're unpacking the fascinating biological science behind senior sleep, and even better, we're going to build a practical, evidence-based toolkit that actually helps improve it. Okay, let's just quickly look at our roadmap for today. We're going to tackle the great sleep myth first, then dive into the biology of aging sleep, figure out how to find the root cause of these issues, and finally, we'll wrap up by anchoring the daytime routine and creating a safe evening wind-down. Right, let's jump straight into section 1, the great sleep myth. Do seniors actually need less sleep? It's so incredibly common to mention poor sleep to your doctor or maybe a friend and just get totally dismissed with, well, you're just getting older. But the need for rest doesn't just mysteriously evaporate the second you turn 65. Older adults do not simply stop needing sleep. Instead, the whole sleep system fundamentally changes. The timing shifts, the depth changes, and honestly, the night just becomes so much more interruptible. The National Institute on Aging is super clear about this. Persistent, poor sleep is not just inevitable aging. Most older adults absolutely still need their 7 to 8 hours. But here's the catch. Small problems that were, perfectly manageable at 35 can become incredibly loud at 70. A slightly warm bedroom, a tiny bit of joint pain, or maybe a late cup of coffee, that can literally derail a whole night's rest later in life. Moving on to section 2, the biology of aging sleep. What's actually changing internally? Let's put on our medical detective hats for a second. A 2021 review by Lee and colleagues gives us a really good peek under the hood. As we age, our brain's sleep-regulating receptors and our natural melatonin production actually change. This literally shifts the internal circadian clock earlier. That's exactly why an older adult might feel overwhelmingly sleepy at 7 p.m., but then be wide awake staring at the ceiling at 4 a.m. Plus, deep sleep decreases. Because the brain spends way more time in lighter sleep stages, everyday environmental sounds like, say, a partner rolling over or a door closing become drastically more disruptive. So if an older adult goes to bed way too early, wakes up at 3 a.m., and then naps all day long just to compensate, well, that pattern just reinforces itself. Actually, scratch that. You literally cannot force the human body to sleep. Instead, we have to gently, patiently build a new rhythm. Which brings us to section 3. Finding the root cause. Let's investigate what's causing that wakefulness. Look, before we even think about reaching for a sleep aid, we absolutely have to distinguish normal biological aging from treatable medical issues. If you're a caregiver, I really encourage you to lead with intense curiosity. Ask the important questions. What is actually waking them up? Do they snore or gasp for air? Are they feeling super sleepy during the day? Or maybe their sleep suddenly changed right after starting a new medication. These are some of the most common disruptors out there. The National Institute on Aging directly connects poor later life sleep to these exact conditions. Take sleep apnea. It is massively underdiagnosed in seniors. And things like pain, restless legs, nocturnal bathroom trips, or even the side effects of necessary meds, they can completely shatter a night's rest. But the good news? These are highly treatable. Now, when chronic insomnia really sets in, the American Academy of Sleep Medicine gives us some very clear guidance. Cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, or CBT-I, is a first-line treatment, and this is especially vital for older adults. Why? Because traditional sleeping pills carry severe risks for seniors. We're talking devastating falls, morning confusion, and next-day cognitive impairment. Retraining the brain's relationship with the bed is just far safer and honestly often way more effective. Okay, section 4, anchoring the daytime routine. Let's look at how we anchor the day. It might sound a bit counterintuitive, but a great night's sleep actually begins the absolute moment you wake up. The circadian system loves a stable morning. Waking up at a consistent time and getting immediate exposure to bright morning light helps the brain clearly, definitively distinguish day from night. By adding some physical movement in the afternoon and keeping naps short, you're building up what we call sleep pressure, so the body is just naturally ready for rest when evening finally rolls around. We also really need to review the hidden disruptors that steal that precious sleep pressure. Fun fact, aging slows down our metabolism. That means a cup of coffee at 3 p.m. might still be completely in an older adult's system at 9 p.m. Crazy, right? And alcohol? It might feel sedating at first, but it severely fragments sleep a few hours later. Heavy evening meals cause discomfort and acid reflux, and obviously chugging late-night fluids will absolutely worsen those nocturnal bathroom trips. Finally, Section 5, Safe Evening Wind Down, Preparing for Rest. As we transition to the final phase of the day, it is all about environmental control. Remember how we said older adults have lighter sleep architecture? Well, based on research by Riedy and colleagues, we use this really cool concept called reducing contrast. Listen, sound therapy doesn't magically sedate the brain. It's more like if a room is perfectly silent, every single tiny creak of the floorboards stands out like a sharp shock. But introducing a gentle, steady sound masks those jarring noises, giving the sensitive brain fewer sharp changes to react to. The absolute crucial point here is predictability. Establishing a strict wind-down rhythm is key. You lower the lights, do the hygiene routine, start a soft sound, let the timer end, and get into bed. Doing this exactly the same way, every single night, actively teaches the nervous system what comes next. It literally signals safety to the brain. Now, a lot of people ask about ASMR, autonomous sensory meridian response for older adults. Research by Poerio and colleagues shows ASMR can indeed lower the heart rate for people who respond to it. However, caregivers must be extremely cautious here. If you use ASMR or sound therapy, you gotta follow these rules. Keep it low volume and timed. Absolutely no endless scrolling or sudden blaring autoplay ads that'll just shock them right away. And most importantly, keep cords away from walking paths and completely avoid headphones if they increase disorientation or fall risks. The bedroom itself needs to follow what I like to call the boring and safe checklist. This is an essential baseline. It must be cool and dark. There needs to be a completely clear walking path, maybe with a gentle nightlight if needed, and easy access to glasses and water right there on the nightstand. Protecting seniors from nighttime accidents has to be priority number one. And please keep this in mind. Sound is a gentle pre-sleep cue. It firmly belongs in the structured wind-down zone. It is absolutely not some magic cure-all that you just deploy at 3 a.m. after hours of panic and tossing and turning. It's part of a routine, not a rescue mission. So I want to leave you with this final reframed thought. Instead of frustratingly asking, how do I force this person to sleep? Try asking this: what routine helps this person feel safe enough to rest? Aging fundamentally changes sleep, yes, but it absolutely does not erase the possibility of better rest. By understanding the biology, removing those hidden disruptors, and building a consistent, gentle rhythm, we can help the nervous system stop fighting the night alone. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this gives you the tools you need for a better, safer night's rest.